Hello, and welcome to the Buena Vista Project, a podcast about Mexican-American history, politics, cultura y más, coming to you from San Antonio, the Mexican-American capital of the United States. I'm your co-host, Michael Quintanilla.
And I'm your co-host, Elaine Ayala. Joining us today is contributor Erica Prosper Nirenberg, one of San Antonio's sharpest cultural observers and minds and a former First Lady of San Antonio.
As you can see by our Metiche University sweatshirts, this is the second podcast. We're really devoting to pushing the definition of Metiche, not as a busybody, but as someone who is really aiming for more candor, more social disruption, and something that sparks debates and understanding and change, because that is really the ultimate goal of being Metiche, is to try to change something. We know you're having these kinds of discussions at home and among friends and family these days and on social media, so we want to also join in.
We've got a long list of topics to get to today, so I want to begin with one of the nation's most beloved social disruptors of all time, whose life and legacy we honored this month with marches, exhibits, cultural events, and lectures, the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.
You know, for me, MLK Day has always been the vision of the city, and watching hundreds of thousands of people come together to really march, no matter what your background, no matter your age. For me, it's been a key part of our family's participation. Ron and I have been going to the MLK March since we landed in San Antonio 20 plus years ago. And when Jonah came along, we added him along. This is the first year that Jonah's not here during MLK, so we're going to be marching without him. But to me, MLK holds one of the largest marches in the nation. Actually, it's the largest city-sponsored march in the country.
Wow.
In little old San Antonio, right?
And that says something about our city that's very unique and echoes back to our contention that we're the Mexican-American capital of the United States.
I think I agree with you. If it's civil rights related, you have to understand it's San Antonio related.
Yeah.
Going back to what you all have already spoken about, we were such a big part of civil rights that nobody ever realizes. And why would the MLK March and the symbol of what MLK represents not be associated with it?
Exactly.
Yeah, civil rights and all-inclusive, and, backed by popular demand last year, I was involved with a wonderful event. It was a panel discussion produced by Lindsay Andrews.
And it was part of Dream Week.
It was part of Dream Week, and Lindsay is one of our city's premier drag performers. And we're going to be doing that panel again this year. It's the second time. It was so wildly attended. You were there.
I was there.
It was packed. We did it at the Heat nightclub on the Strip. And this year's Dream Week theme is Revelations. And so we will have 6 panelists, all of them drag queens, Erica. They will be revealing their truths.
Oh, I want to go.
You have to. It's on January.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, January 22nd. And they will share their unique perspectives and insights into the world of drag achievement, as well as their journey as a drag artist and how they have elevated the art. I will be moderating. We're going to explore how they have so powerfully empowered drag, how they have been empowered by drag, its political statement, and how drag has challenged the social norms in an often hostile environment and world. So look, drag is an art form. It truly, truly is. It's known also for challenging the systems of oppression. And oppression, it is a cornerstone of the struggle for civil rights.
Absolutely.
And that is the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. And his influence provided the blueprint and the framework and inspiration for such. So that's the involvement.
Okay, here's a problem that you look how much
Your seat went down.
my seat went down. You want to stand there?
Yeah, I do. Let me help you here.
This is the awesome thing of live. What live does.
Live podcast stream. Put that right here. Fantastic. Let go. Okay.
Got it?
Oh, okay. And so, oh my God.
All right, maybe that'll be delimited by our friend Francisco, but we'll see. I'm still a little low, but not as low as I was. I know. I don't know. It's probably my weight.
Take my chair.
No. That's okay. We're good.
All right.
Okay, so I want to mention that you probably won't won't. By the time you see this, you won't be able to go. But Michael and I will be in a Dream Week event too, and it will be at Plaza de Sueños, which is a beautiful renovated elementary school. And then we will appear probably in the cafeteria. It's so small. I mean, elementary schools were really tiny then.
I love it.
And the Dream On Group, a development company, owns the site, and they asked us to put on an event, and this is what we came up with. We're gonna ask people. We're gonna, have light refreshments and have basically a cocktail hour, but we're going to hand out 4x6 index cards and ask you to write down what is your dream for San Antonio into the future, as far or as short term as you want to get. We're going to put them up on a bulletin board so everybody can read them. And then at the end, we'll send them to Dream Week so they can put in their files. So it's our opportunity to talk about San Antonio as it is. And while San Antonio, we can talk all day about how wonderful it is, and it is. We're honored to live here and to grow up here, Michael. But it's also the largest U.S. city, one of the poorest U.S. cities, and one of the most segregated U.S. cities.
Yeah. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be wonderful. I feel like I need to lower my seat.
Don't feel you need to be lower. I'm going to stay right here.
Okay, good. So over the last few months, and especially especially
Here we go.
the last few weeks, we've seen the escalation of clashes between ICE officers and those protesting the Trump administration's hardline on immigration.
Yeah.
The killing of one of the protesters, Renee Good, in Minneapolis made a huge impact on all of us, nationally, even globally, because we were able to see exactly how she died. How many of us watched that video over and over again and at different angles. The tragedy even received attention at the recent Golden Globe Awards ceremony, where Hollywood showed its support of protesters and its sympathy for a woman who lived in the neighborhood and was a wife and mother of a little boy who is so sad. A lot of stars wore these buttons on their lapels that said, "Be good." Elaine, how did you read into that?
I was so moved by that. I think it was not Ben Affleck, but Mark
Ruffalo.
Yes.
Spoke so passionately. You saw that.
Yes.
He spoke so passionately about wearing this small gesture of respect and remembrance for this woman. And I think the beauty of it is that it got televised all over the world. So many others were able to remember Renee Good on protest signs, at vigils, like Martin Luther King. We have to keep remembering them as extraordinary and ordinary people who become metiches too for the good. This is where we are in 2025.
I think it is a year to be metiche, right? And so you do have to know your rights if you're approached by an ICE officer. And I think part of what we want to discuss with you is some of them. Most of you are familiar with what is called a red card. And a red card is something that many communities have been giving out to their immigrant population. But it's also good for you to carry it. You don't have to be an immigrant to know your rights. You can either share them with others or just so that you know them. Because again, the line between being detained because you're a criminal or being detained because you are profiled is gone. And so you should know your rights. And so I just want to make sure I go over them. You have the constitutional right to not open the door for an immigration officer unless they have a signed warrant by a judge, not an extradition, not something that says they have the right to remove you, a judge, a sitting judge on a bench. And you ask them, do not open the door. You ask them to slip it under the door so you can verify that, right?
Or put it up on
the glass. No. They have to hand it to you.
Oh,
Make
really?
sure that you ask them to slip it under the door. You have the right to see it and hold it. Okay? If they refuse to do that, you do not have to open the door. There is nothing that says you have to. Second, let's say you do open the door. Or let's say that you're caught not in your house, right? But they want to talk to you. You also have the right not to answer questions. And that's very important because the right to remain silent sometimes is very helpful to you, especially if you're wanting to better understand the situation that you're in, or you want to understand what they're accusing you of, why you're being detained, right? Also, you have the right not to sign anything without a lawyer present. So if someone is trying to have you sign, oh, just sign here that we talked to you, or just sign here that, we had this discussion, or just sign here that you open the door and you let us talk to you. Do not sign anything. Nothing without a lawyer present. And that is a constitutional right afforded to not just U.S. citizens, but immigrants as well. And then finally, you also have the right basically to ask the officer over and over and over, am I free to go? Am I free to go? That's probably the only thing you really should say. If they hold you, they can't figure it out. You see that there's really nothing that they can do. Over and over ask, am I free to go? And then if they say yes, you walk away calmly. Don't run. Don't say anything. Just calmly walk away. In this case, asking for the information, staying silent until you ask if you can leave, if you're free to go, and then walking away calmly back to a safe space is your best friend. And that is something that all of us have a right. It's a constitutional right to anybody in the United States, whether you're a citizen or not. So these red cards, if you have one, fantastic, keep it in your pocket. If you have extras, give them out to anybody. I like to carry some around and give them to people randomly because you just never know.
Where do you access it? Yeah.
You can actually order them and pay from the Immigration Resource Center to help fund their free legal advice to immigrants. Or, quite frankly, you can get the template offline. It's on Pinterest. It's online. And you can basically just make copies at a Kinko's or anywhere else at your office, if it's your office, not your boss's office, and just have them with you. I bought cardstock. I made them at a Kinko's, and I carried them around.
They said Immigration Resource Center.
The Immigration Resource Center, it's an online center that can help answer a lot of questions around what other immigrant rights have.
And you can
Excellent.
probably Google them easy enough, too. Yeah.
Well, and speaking of legal things, one of the topics in the news that's ongoing is the Uvalde school tragedy and the trial of the former school district and police officer in Corpus Christi, where the case was moved. It's an interesting thing, Elaine. What are you hearing?
Well, I can't imagine being on that jury or also being one of the parents. And having to hear about this mass shooting that we all watched, prayed for, feared, that indeed 19 kids and 2 teachers were killed in it, and how police have been rightfully accused of not moving quickly enough. One of the most staggering facts is that in all, not just 21 people died that day, but almost 400 officers were called to the scene because it was local police, it was school police, it was Border Patrol, it was Texas Department of Public Safety, and it still took 77 minutes before the gunman was shot and killed. Now, if you're especially one of the parents, you've got to feel very acutely the injustice of not protecting those kids quicker.
Yeah. I can't imagine the emotional terror parents have over the fear that a child might not come home from school, that they sent off to school in the morning. And this is uniquely an American trauma, and Congress's paralysis only deepens that wound because school shootings remain a persistent threat.
And they're not
Every
being
day.
metiche enough. No.
Yes.
No.
And
Well, and every time I think someone tries to be metiche, you have people cut them off. You have people undermine the legislation that's
Right.
happening. Because I know there have been bipartisan support for doing something that
Polls
pops up,
say, yeah.
pops up, and most Americans say it's okay, go ahead. And so there is a you're right, it is a uniquely American tragedy.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
Congress has failed to pass meaningful gun reform, right? Even after high-profile tragedies.
I'll tell you, I agree with you as a parent. I'll tell you that as growing up as a child, right? The biggest worries in the 80s were you're going to get kidnapped. um, every generation has their issue. I truly believe that unfortunately so many younger folks, in their 20s and younger, this is their trauma.
This is their greatest fear.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, when we were kids, the classroom was a sanctuary, I think, when I was a child in
felt
school.
completely safe there.
I did too. Yeah. And these days, I think every parent, they send their kids to school knowing that learning at school um, now comes also with learning how to deal with active shooter drills,
Yeah. Just
with
horrendous.
lockdowns and trauma. My sister, Becky, she is a former school counselor, and I remember she's retired now, but I remember
Yeah.
her stories about how they had to do these drills, and it's scary. It's scary. I heard those stories. Now, I don't know the statistics now about mass shootings.
But can I say something? It feels like and we're not the only ones saying this. I'm sure everybody feels this way. It feels like every other week though there's another one, another one. And here's my fear. My fear is that this becomes so endemic that we just sort of get used to it. And it's another area to get desensitized about. And it's just another way for us to say, well, it's happening, so we might as well not pursue, sensible legislation.
And every time I think it happens, that metiche element in your head that you should do something says, well, it wasn't our kids. Thank God it wasn't our kids. So that desensitizes you. That kind of makes you numb to this horrific problem that is uniquely American because we have so many guns on the street and there are gun safes and not well locked up, and it leads to these kinds of tragedies.
I do have to give a shout out though to those that are responsible gun owners, because
There's lots
I
of
have
them.
many friends, many women who have been trained on gun safety specifically so they can teach their sons and their daughters who hunt, who are active in shooting sports. They've specifically done it so they can teach them about safety. And to me, I'm like, at the very least, there's all these different ways. While we wait, unfortunately, for laws to happen, there are ways in which we as a community can rally around it. At the very least, keep promoting responsible gun ownership, right?
And even the
Yes.
NRA has so many educational programs for that purpose. And then you have those folks that keep a gun because they feel threatened too, and they keep one in their safes because they want to be safe, and that's their right. I have no
Correct.
problem
Yeah.
with that.
That's right. That's right, and that's good. So, can we move on to a
Let's go to
happier subject, maybe?
yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Can we talk about groceries?
Oh, yes. Michael and I have tons to say. Okay.
Or are we?
Because okay, Michael is such a good shopper that sometimes he comes over and drops some groceries off for me. And
I have some for you.
I have so many little pouches of refried beans ready to be made into great chalupas.
I love beans. I love chalupa.
Yes. So, the economy, no matter what our politicians tell us, still is leaving too many people behind. Prices are going up, but salaries aren't.
That's right.
And so whenever I know that you're probably doing this too, Michael. I'm so mindful now of what I buy, and
Yes.
so I don't waste.
Yes.
And I know you.
And it is because the economy is something we're always talking about, right? And grocery prices are always on my mind. And I'm always at the store,
You shop frequently.
Yeah.
Then you get fresh stuff.
I do. And the prices change from week to week usually, and they mostly are going up. There every now and then I notice a few things that have gone down, but just a few. I noticed the other day that avocados were down. And so that
Oh,
was
I
a good
saw that
thing.
too.
And I love avocados. So, I stocked up on them because they're my
Oh,
favorite thing
yeah.
to eat, So I used to buy in bulk, but not anymore because of how prices continually go up, and I hate waste.
Yeah.
So when you buy in bulk, there's going to be waste. So now I tend to stick to mostly dry goods and frozen foods because they have longer shelf life.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: I did some research, and grocery prices in the U.S. rose another 2.7% in 2025, with staples like coffee up nearly 20%, and we love coffee,
Oh God, yes.
right?
Yes.
And
And ground
ground
beef.
beef
Oh my God, that's a
up
ridiculous figure.
15.5%. So making smart, intentional food shopping is not just savvy, it's really essential, especially if you have a big family and we live alone, right?
But
So
I think here's the other thing is I'm so grateful to nonprofits like the San Antonio Food Bank and others that come to the aid of their neighbors. In my neighborhood, the Esperanza Peace and Justice Center had a little book library that became a food source. And so every so often, I'll put some cans of chili or cans of tomato sauce because, mothers in that neighborhood are making sopitas. But my biggest worry is that San Antonio's obesity rate and its diabetes rates makes it harder to buy protein and healthier food. And it's too easy in our country to buy processed food. It's cheaper. And that's contrary to what doctors want and nutritionists want us to eat. So be real cognizant of your neighbors and of yourselves that you're trying to get some protein in your diet.
yeah, protein is good. And so I love to buy the rotisserie chicken because I can make like
That's an American food.
4 or 5 meals out of it.
Yeah.
And I've learned to shop for what do you call it? Store or house brands. Because I think it's smart and it saves money. And
I think they're the same.
it's the same, you know?
Ripa, I don't think
So
I don't think there's that much difference in tomato sauce. It's probably bottled in the same
I
place.
think so. And it's like this is how we outwit a system
Yeah.
that keeps us asking that keeps asking us to pay more for less. So, that's
Be frugal.
be frugal. That's being a frugal shopper. So we have to have to find strategy. And that also includes things like, I don't know, I never used to plan meals, but I think I do now.
I'm more cognizant of that too. So
And
that
embracing
don't-
leftovers.
Oh God, yes.
Right?
I know you're a big leftover guy. I give you some of mine, and you gladly take it.
And I stretch it. And I love soups. I think soups are another economical way of
Calditos y
eating.
sopita.
Right, especially now. Now, I've heard of people using apps. I don't know. I wonder if you guys out there use apps to track prices. And I've heard of some of my friends have said they let AI help them stretch $1 by
Wow.
comparing prices. Oh, using
No, I don't use
so
that.
and I think back to my mother, my mom, and how she could stretch food with 4 children. I mean, she would add
My mom
cornflakes
too.
to everything.
And my mom, one of and I love picadillo, right? And my mom would not only put peas in there, but she put carrots, she put onions,
Oh, yeah.
and make it stretch
Yeah.
for everybody at the table. So
Yeah.
those things are beautiful.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So, Elaine, I know you wanted to talk about a new documentary film called American Sons, that's already aired on KLRN and PBS nationally. It was on, I think, earlier this week.
It was.
Can
And
you tell us why it's an important watch?
well, it's a San Antonio story, and it's about a San Antonio soldier who served in Afghanistan and sadly died there. But this generation, our generation really, of capturing things on our cell phones, he kept taking little videos to send home. His sister would receive them, she would share them with the family, and they would be him talking. He narrates throughout this documentary while he's there, his buddies. He talks about the losses that his group of Marines endure. But the film takes us to present day as his buddies, fellow Marines, struggle with their mental health and recovering and responding to their grief because they carry it around with them, and their brotherhood is so intense. It's sometimes hard for us on the outside to understand. But a San Antonio filmmaker, Laura Varela, who I've known for ages, she was the producer on this film. She took it everywhere throughout the country and even Amsterdam and other global cities, global capitals, that is. So she's back home now. And though she didn't, we were all sort of on her team of let's get this nominated for Best Documentary by the Oscars. It didn't make it, but it's nonetheless worthy of a watch and our support because it's a San Antonio West Side Story. In fact, there's a great little clip in it, and you'll get to see a little bit of it in this broadcast of JV Villarreal showing these little children of Afghanistan how to do a West Side, con sapos kind of greeting, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah. I heard it's award worthy.
Yes, it is.
I did read about that.
Okay,
So-
I think we're at the end of
Yeah.
this broadcast.
Well, it's just the start of 2025 and it's already so heavy. The Trump administration may get the nation into several wars in Venezuela, Colombia, Iran, Greenland, and Mexico.
Chingao, we're just talking about Afghanistan, and here we are. It makes me think that the whole world, especially us, we need a limpia. But to disperse all the negative energy. But eggs are so expensive.
Oh, I know.
You have to put it all over you, and then you break it and put it under your bed. No, hombre, save your eggs.
Talk to us about what each of us can do to push ahead in 2025, despite the state of our democracy and everything else that's going on, Erica.
All right, so here is the skinny. 2026 is a midterm election year. We can actually reset the system. We can cloud dancer the system, people. Because what's happening is the majority margin in the House and the Senate from the current administration is very thin, actually. And all the seats for the House are up for reelection in November of 2026. All of them. And then a good chunk, maybe a third of the Senate seats are also up for reelection. If you, like many of us, are saying, ya basta, I want the limpia. I want the slate that takes us into a new way of thinking and that, quite frankly, recaptures what we all grew up thinking was democracy that we wanted to defend, that our fellow military USA citizens have defended, then this is the year to do it. You've got some early primaries happening here in March that are going to help you decide who's going to go to the November election. This is it. This is the basis of it. All the marvels, people. We talk and talk and talk, complain. But if you do not go out and vote,
That's right.
and this is the year to do it, if you do not go out and vote for those that you want to carry your interests for your family, for your community, for your moral visions, then this is your chance.
This
right?
is the best way to become
It is.
a teacher.
It is. So I'm at a point where I'm like, I do not want to hear anyone complain unless you are also voting. If you voted and you didn't get where we thought we should, then you can complain, obviously. But
And you
if
can vote again.
exactly. But if you do not vote, if you not have that innate power that is given to you as being a United States citizen, then you really, really, really not only rethink your priorities, but don't complain, right? Because you have a free American right, a free right to vote, and this is the year.
Thank you,
Thank
Erica.
you so much. This is just the best metiche discussion we've had in a long time, and we encourage you to be one.
Thank you, Erica. Thanks for joining us. You can find our podcast on our website, buenavistaproject.com, as well as YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music.
And we'll be back soon with another episode of the Buena Vista Project.
Until then, hasta la buena vista, baby.